Hello, everybody. Welcome to Amazing You. I am your host. My name is Ranithanacoody. I am a certified hypnotherapist using RTT method and a life and relationship coach, astrologer, and energy healer. And today I am very excited to introduce you to Richard Bernstein, the CEO of Mars Venus Coaching based in the United States. Welcome, Richard, to Amazing You.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you today.
So tell us, Richard, briefly about your story.
Ooh, my story. Which story? I have 100. At my age, I have a few stories.
Okay, so tell us
My
about how you started Mars Venus Coaching.
okay. That's a good one. When I sold a business almost 20 years ago,
Right.
I was now retired. That did not last long. After a couple of months, my wife said, "What are you doing? You got to do something." I was a corporate guy, so I was probably 100 hours a week at the office and traveling. And now I'm home 24/7. And I think I was sitting on the couch eating cereal at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon in my boxer shorts. And my wife said, no, this is not going to work. You need to go do something. The next day, I called a friend of mine. We went and had lunch together. And my friend said, "What are you going to do now?" And I said, "I don't know. I sold the business. I don't know. It's a new chapter in my life." And he said, "Why don't you become a business coach?" Ronnie, I had not heard the word business and coach in the same sentence in my whole life. And I thought, wait, that sounds really good. It resonated with me immediately. And so I thought to myself, at least I know what not to do in business. I had been in business for 25 years. And I thought, okay, let me check out this business coaching thing.
Right.
I took a course, I got certified, and I got to tell you, it changed my life. The way I look at everything, the way I see the world now. And then after about 6 years as a business coach, and I had coaches all over the world,
Yes.
that were working on my team, I got a call from this guy, John Gray.
Okay.
And he said, "Hi, my name is John Gray." And I said, "Okay, how can I help you?" I didn't know who it was. And he goes, "You don't know who I am?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, have you ever heard of the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus?" I said, "Sure, I heard of the book. I didn't know who wrote it. I hadn't read it." So he said, "Well, I wrote that book." And I said, "John, what are you really looking for?" He said, "I want to take this brand internationally with coaches all over the world. I'm only one guy. I would really like to have a team."
Okay.
And the funny thing was, Ronnie, the first impression I had is, what does Mars Venus, this relationship expert, have anything to do with business?
Yeah.
And that's the first question I asked him.
Mm-hmm.
"John, I know who you are now. I know the book is so popular. It's an excellent relationship. It helps people all over the world. What does that have to do with business?" And Ronnie, John Gray's answer is why I'm here today.
Okay.
He said to me, "If you don't think business is all about relationships, then I'm talking to the wrong guy. You don't have relationships with your employees. You don't have relationships with your customers, your clients. You don't have relationships with vendors and suppliers." And Ronnie, I had never thought about it that way ever. And I went, wow, I need to meet this guy. I got on a plane. I flew to San Francisco. I met John Gray, and he was the most authentic, genuine, just a unbelievable human. And I said, I need to work with this guy. I left where I was. I came here to Mars Venus. We started it from scratch. And now we have more than 600 coaches in 42 countries over the last 15 years. I'm proud to be here to represent him and that brand. So we're very proud of it and the lives that we've changed. Because when John was so genuine and authentic to say, "I'm only one guy. I can only write books. I can only speak at engagements, but I can't change the world," is what I really want to do. Yeah. And when we think about 600 coaches on average having, 5, 10, 15 clients, we can change 6,000 lives a week.
Yeah.
with our team, and it's growing every day because our mission is to change the world one relationship at a time.
Yes,
And
that's
that's what we're doing.
yes, yes, that's wonderful. Thank you,
Mm.
Rich. Thank you, Rich, and thank you for allowing me to be part of that
Yep.
team
I
as
love
well.
having you on
I'm
the team.
very honored to be part of that team as well.
And you know what's interesting, Ronnie? When I look at the team members, and we have every culture imaginable, from the Middle East, Europe, to Australia, to New Zealand, US and Canada, South America. When we look at all the different cultures, one thing I've learned over the years is men are men and women are women, and the challenges we have are the same, regardless of what language you speak, what culture you have, whatever your background, your household. I am amazed at just the challenges we have are so identical around the world.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Thank you, Rich. And Rich, can you tell us what has been the greatest challenge in your life and how did you overcome it?
I'll tell you something that happened 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I got into a legal situation with one of my clients and an investor and myself, and we put a deal together. And I went to an attorney, and I got really bad legal advice. That the advice I got was, you can do a transaction like this. It's perfectly fine as long as it's a win-win for the three of you. When the deal was over and things were not going as well as they expected to, because the two clients were starting to work together, when it blew up, they came after me legally. I went back to that attorney, and I said, you told me it was okay to do this deal. Well, maybe I interpreted it wrong. I was so upset. It cost me a lot of money. I had to pay both to settle. And at that point, Ronnie, as I decided, I was 50 years old, that I'm going to go to law school.
Okay.
Because of this, I'm not going to believe, I don't care if you're a lawyer for 20 years, I don't care. I need to know this profession myself.
Absolutely.
So I actually took the LSAT exam, got accepted into law school, Concord Law School, a part of Purdue. And the next 4 years, I went to law school. I hadn't been in school in 30 years. So that was a big challenge going back to school. And I wanted to learn everything about copyright, trademark, contract law, civil litigation, things like that, because I was not going to let myself. That was probably one of the biggest challenges I had about 20 years ago. Not only did I settle that agreement, but now I work with John on his copyright and his trademarks and all of his books and everything that we do. So I feel I'm kind of like an in-house counsel, not only for myself and my personal life, but for John Gray himself.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you, Rich. And who has been the most influential person in your life and why, Rich?
Wow, another deep one. Wow. I would say there's probably been two. My mom was a huge influence on me. She was very successful in business. She was very pragmatic and logical. She was very realistic in teaching me growing up to think realistically. In fact, she passed, I want to say about 6, 7 years ago, and I hear her clearer now than I did when she was alive. I listen to her more now than when she was alive, because maybe there was a little ego. I didn't want to, listen to her. I wanted to have my own thoughts. But she was a big influence on my life as a dad, as a husband, as a businessman, just as a human. But I'll tell you, on a professional side, John Gray has actually changed my life, I want to say, more than anybody, because understanding the way he thinks, understanding the way he accepts the world the way it is and lives presently in it is amazing to me. So it's something I strive to live like John.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Rich. And what quote has helped you to cope in challenging times, Rich?
What quote?
Yes, what quote?
Hmm. I think in challenging times, probably the most powerful quote is, "This too shall pass."
Okay. Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because
Yes.
I've always had faith that things happen the way they're supposed to. They happen when they're supposed to. And
Yes.
so I'm a firm believer in the alignment of the universe. And
Mm.
so if I'm not happy with something, the first thing I want to ask myself is, this too will pass. What am I really afraid of? What can I do to change it? What do I really want? Instead of what do I don't want? Really focus on the things that I want in my life. And this, I think, has changed a mindset of that I don't really have any challenges in life. Things might be a little more difficult than normal. Things might be a little harder than expected, but there's not really any challenges because whatever happens, happens. The
Yeah,
way I choose to respond to that is my choice.
that's correct. Yes. Yeah.
So I would say that's probably the thing that gets me through challenges is faith and understanding.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rich. And what has been the most influential book that you have read, Rich?
Ooh, I'm a big reader. I'm a big
I
reader.
know.
So I, I've read, I mean, you can see behind me my library. I've read probably every book there twice, if not three times,
Okay.
because I, I don't know that I have a particular book. I mean, all of the Mars Venus series is really good, has
Yes.
helped me a lot, but I love reading leadership. Believe it or not, I like reading political books because it gives me kind of the other side of perspective. Um, I'm not a like a reader of fiction.
Yes.
I'm not a fiction reader. I'm not really interested in stories more than kind of learning something. So I'm more of a nonfiction. I like self-help. I think one of the biggest books that opened my eyes, I'll tell you, when my son was at university, he was at Berkeley,
Right.
and he said, "Dad, you need to read this book." In fact, I have it right here. It's called The Confessions of an Economic Hitman.
Okay.
And it's a very interesting book about how the United States goes into other countries where we want to help them with manufacturing or agriculture and give them machinery or, things that can economically help the country. But then they use it as leverage to have power and control in that country.
Right.
And I found that a fascinating book. What's even more fascinating is my son and I were at not the library, the bookstore, and we
Yes.
were looking at books. And when he saw that book, he said, "Dad, I read that in college. You have to read it."
Uh-huh.
And I opened up the book, and the preface was written by John Gray.
Oh,
I was in
right.
shock. I
Yes.
literally picked up the phone and called John from the bookstore and said, "John, you wrote the preface to this book, the Confessions of an Economic Hitman." And he said, "That guy is my neighbor. I know him well.
What
And
a small
everything that
world.
he talks about is true." That is serendipitous, that it just happened like that, because I didn't expect to open it up. And it was my partner is right there writing the preface in the book. And it was fascinating.
Wow.
Another really good one, right, that
Yes.
opened my eyes was a book called The World is Flat.
Mm.
And it's all about how mankind kind of started in the Middle East. And we expanded out around the world with inventions and
Mm.
technology
Yes.
and water and electricity, and how we evolved, yet the Middle East stayed far behind the growth of the other countries.
That's
Very fascinating to me
okay.
how that happened. Great book.
All right. Thank you, Rich. And what would you say today, Rich, to encourage people who are listening and watching this audio and this YouTube? What would you say to those people who are facing some tough times?
This too shall pass.
Okay.
I, I think the important thing is to get people to not focus on the tough times, to
Yes.
truly flip their brain over and focus on what do they really want. because there's a rule in the universe. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. You attract it in your life. And I think we spend too much time focusing on the problems, the challenges, where my life is, instead of actually focusing on what do I want, where do I want to go, why do I want that? And then you'll actually see a shift in the way you react to things, on how the universe is reacting to you, because I think that's part of the problem. We all have challenges, but to stay in that challenge and focus on it doesn't help get us out of it.
No, not at all.
So focusing on what you want. And as a visual person, I always write things down. I like, a clean sheet of paper and going, okay, what do I really want?
Yeah.
What do I really want that to look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What does it sound like? Do you know what I mean? So I really get a visual, and suddenly I start attracting that in my life, and the problem goes away.
Yes, I agree with you.
That's what I would tell people.
Yes.
Focus on what you want.
And tell us now briefly about your business and how can people reach out to you, Rich?
We are the only coaching company in the world that focuses on gender intelligence, how men and women are different. And I'm going to tell you right now, once you ring that bell, you can't unring it. Once you actually understand how men and women are wired differently, our brains function differently, our hormones are differently, or respond differently, that I think that if we truly understand those gender intelligent differences, it changes the way we do business, it changes parenting, it changes relationships, it changes everything that we do. And so we are a training school. We certify, train coaches around the world to be a Mars Venus gender intelligent coach. It's a license. They join our family. They're then supported. We have calls with Dr. John Gray every month. We interact on WhatsApp groups and support groups. Our training is world-class. You learn everything that a normal coach would learn. We just do it on a foundation of how men and women are different.
Okay, that's great. And do you have a website that people can go to or can reach out to you?
Please, MarsVenusCoaching.com. That's simple. MarsVenusCoaching.com. And if you go there, you can download information about it. You can read all about whether it's right for you, whether it fits you, because most of our coaches that join us, they knew the minute, just like I did. I heard business coach in the same sentence. I said, that's for me. Yeah. We have 2 courses that we offer certification. One is business and executive coaching, like what I do, and the other is life and relationship coaching. So we have 2 different certifications at our school.
Thank you so much for taking your time to share with the audience. And
you're very welcome.
And I wish you, my pleasure. It was a great pleasure to have you. And I wish you and your team continued success and that you change many, many more lives of people in the years to come.
Thank you. Thank you, Rani.
And thank you to the audience for watching and for listening. And I will see you soon with some other guest speakers. Thank you, everyone. And bye-bye. Thank you again, Rich.
You're welcome.